Hello, everybody, and welcome to the BullensMagic podcast, the official podcast of the Westfield Starfires. Alongside my co-host, Rebecca Osowski, I'm Seth Dussault, the voice of the Starfires. Rebecca, we're getting close. It's just a week away until opening day. Are you as excited about this as I am? I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah, it's super exciting. The Starfires have had a lot to deal with coming off of the COVID season, so it's going to be exciting to finally get a little bit back to normal and finally see a lot of players back in the ballpark.
And one player we're going to see back at the ballpark is somebody you should be familiar with as a Starfires fan. Dan Hussey played 34 games last season for Westfield and was a fantastic part of the team down the stretch into the second half, hit almost 285. And we're going to have him on the podcast today. And so without further ado, here is Dan Hussey of the Westfield Starfires. Joining us now on the BullensMagic podcast from the Central Connecticut State University baseball team and your Westfield Starfires is Dan Hussey. Dan, good to see you once again. Looking forward to having you back in Westfield this summer.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Great to see you guys. Nice to meet you, Rebecca.
So let's get this thing rolling, and let's actually start here in Westfield, and let's start with last summer. How did you first get connected to the Starfires? What made you decide it would be a good fit for your summer ball experience?
Honestly, it was kind of last minute. I honestly did not expect to be ended up in Westfield. My teammate, Hunter Pasqualini, as you know, he was going there, and I honestly got lucky getting matched up with him last minute. And it all worked out, and I ended up in Westfield and with my teammate, luckily, and I was able to grow a relationship with him and grow a lot of relationships in a great town.
And you're coming back for your second year. What about Westfield made you want to come back?
Honestly, it was just the people there. It was from the ownership to the community to the fans to the type of people that came to the ballpark. That's just everything I loved, I'm not huge on attention and everything like that. So I just like a small hometown place, I'm not a big city kid. So it was just very homey for me. I just loved Westfield. It was fun. I had a lot of fun.
Your freshman year at Central, you only got 15 at bats. So how important to your development as a baseball player was being a regular in the lineup for the Starfires? You played 34 games. You had, I think, 85 or 86 at bats. What did that mean to you to develop you as a ball player?
Honestly, being here at Central last year, I did not get a lot of at bats, but it was from what I learned from the players. We had great players like Dave Matthews and Buddy Dwayne, who really taught me a lot, so having that and carrying that over to the summer was great to have. But honestly, getting there and playing in the summer, that experiencing college pitching was something I really never saw, getting a pinch hit. So getting starts playing in the 34 games was a lot. It was hard, and it was hard to manage my health, you fatigue over the season and everything like that. So it was just great to finally experience some good competitive baseball. The Futures League is really competitive.
And you mentioned Hunter and playing with him. Did that familiarity in Westfield help you last season at all?
Absolutely. Going to Westfield with Hunter was great, but honestly, I didn't really know Hunter as well at Central. He wasn't someone I really talked to. We were familiar, and I would always say hi, but it was the relationship that I built with Hunter in Westfield that really has been successful this year. I consider him one of my closest friends on the team this year, and he's having a phenomenal year. So being in Westfield with him last year, he's a great leader, great teammate. Everyone loves him, and he won an award last year for a reason. So great kid.
Who's somebody last season that you played with in Westfield that really impressed you, or maybe you felt like you learned a lot from playing with that player, other than Hunter, obviously, since you mentioned him already?
Day one showing up was Christian Beal. I didn't know anyone outside of Hunter, so I went out for BP right to center field, and the first kid to say hi was Christian Beal. He said, "Hey, I've been around this game for a while. I know you're young." He goes, I'll help you out a lot. And he just took me under his wing, and, he's great to me. He taught me a lot. That first day, he taught me about reads, how to open up properly, how to play the field. I never played at Bullens before, so he was familiar with it because he was there a couple weeks. So Christian Beal was really a guy that, he really was like a big brother to me. I appreciated that a lot.
Is there a specific moment from last year's season with the Starfires that stuck out to you, something that you won't forget from your overall first experience?
Yeah, honestly, the game that sticks out to me is Pittsfield. I remember driving to the game there. I got pulled over. I got a speeding ticket, and
Oh, no.
so I was late to the game and everything like that. And it was so that they actually had the field flooded, so they had a net there and everything. And we were down like 6 runs, and we ended up coming back, and we in the last 2 innings. And I remember Coach Deschler just giving a fist bump. And we have like a screen recording in the group chat of just Deschler just going like this. And that was probably the best moment of the year, just winning that game. You know, we all rallied in a game that we didn't think we were going to win. And I was just a Taco Bell strikeout player of the game. So, you know, that they have that in Pittsfield. So that's always fun.
You know, Coach Dombrowski actually, when we asked him that question, actually said the exact same thing as you did that game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's clearly, and you know, I remember watching it on the FCBL network and just being like stunned. But
Yeah,
shouldn't be with our team. Like, it's just what we did. But
honestly.
But let's switch things up a little bit. Let's go back all the way. You're a little kid. How did you get into baseball?
Honestly, my father's been my biggest inspiration for me. You know, he's always spent time going to the field, countless hours out there. So honestly, it was for my father as much as it was for me. You know, I wanted all the sacrifice he gave for me. I wanted to give back to him. And I always had baseball in my life. I have Derek Jeter on the wall. You know, I love Derek Jeter. I love the Yankees. It's just, I don't know. I've always loved baseball, you know. I've always loved sports, you know. I've played basketball, baseball, and football, but, you know, it's just something about baseball that always stuck with me. You know, I wanted to always take it to the next level with that sport.
You mentioned Derek Jeter, but we're still going to ask, who's your favorite baseball player growing up, and then someone who is not a baseball player?
Favorite baseball player growing up. You know, a little questionable now, but Robinson Cano, he took steroids now, so you know, I'm a little hesitant to say that. But honestly, my idol would have to be Bryce Harper. Another hot take, but I love Bryce Harper. You know, I just love the athleticism and the competitiveness he brings. He's just inspiration to me. And then outside of the game, if I had to say, honestly, it'd be my mother. You know, I wouldn't be here without my mother. You know, she really made it happen last year, preparing meals for me. If it was coming home late from a Pittsfield or Vermont ride, I would always have food ready for me. So, you know, without her, I wouldn't be here. And the last couple of years, she's really taken it to the next level. And with all the needs, you know, she, without hesitating, she's always been there for me.
Cannot understate the importance of a good mom. I think that's
Absolutely.
certainly I think the case here too. So Central Connecticut State University, it's all over you. I mean, you got the jacket on, you got the hat on, you look like you're ready to go. How did you decide on I was gonna say you could practice in an hour. How did you decide on CCSU? What made Central Connecticut the choice for your college baseball career?
So I used to play summer ball for an organization called the Blue Jays and everything like that. So I had a coach, you know, and he actually ran the program, and he's the coach here now. So with him, he recruited me from that team and everything like that, and my time after the team. So, you know, I went down to Florida, and the head coach actually saw me there, and I didn't think I was going to end up at Central. You know, it was my senior year. I hadn't really nowhere to go. And then I went to this showcase in Florida, and then I got some looks there. And honestly, you know, I just felt more home here. It's New Britain. I grew up in West Hartford. It's 10 minutes down the street. You know, it's a hardworking program. I went to games growing up, and the guys that I was going to be playing with were some of the guys that I grew up watching, like such as Buddy Dwayne, Dave Matthews, T.T. Bowens, and stuff like that. So, you know, being familiar with the coaches, it really helped. And having that relationship with them now is just really important, because I feel like I can go to them anytime without any questions. And, you know, it's just good. It's a good home here.
When you're on a road trip, what do you like to do to pass some of that extra time on the bus?
last year, Cam McIntosh, he had the Nintendo Switch, so we'd always play Super Smash or Mario Kart. We'd always do that. So I don't know. Here we play a game, we play some bus games, just to pass some time. But I don't know. I love music, so I just usually put in the headphones and lock in. Usually when we're an hour out.
Well, that's a perfect transition into the next question. What was your walk-up song at Central this year? Is that what you're going to use here in Westfield, or do you plan on changing it up? And do you do something different when you're hitting versus when you're pitching? Because I know you've pitched a few times.
Mm-hmm. We're very old school here at Central, so we don't have the option to have walk-up music.
Oh wow!
But last year I had I forget my walk-up last year. I had a couple, I think, but I love music. It's what I'm feeling. I love country. I love rap. I love 1970s music. I have a large variety of music. So I guess pitching, I'd probably go with like Leonard Skinner, probably like get me in my rhythm. And then when I'm hitting, probably some old school Tupac, just, mix it up a little bit, just get me in my rhythm, lock in a little bit.
So let's talk a little bit about this upcoming season with the Starfires. You're from Connecticut, so it's safe to assume that you've watched NESN. How does it feel knowing that you'll be a part of the home team this year that gets to air on NESN?
I'm very excited. I saw we had a NESN game this year, but I didn't realize it was at Bullens, so that's even more special this year. So I hope we get a great crowd there. I mean, we're on NESN. You're going to be on TV. It should be a great day. So I'm really excited for that. I played on TV before, but never on NESN before, that type of broadcasting. So that's just special. That game last year, I believe we played in 2 games last year on NESN. Or I know for one for a fact, but just that atmosphere is different. You come to the field, everyone's locked in. It's just different. So I'm really excited for that, and hopefully I perform.
And certainly is a lot of fun. The Starfire is actually undefeated on NESN to this point, 2-0 over the last 2 years. So hopefully we can make it 3. Brought him up a little bit earlier. Kyle Dombrowski, hitting coach last year for the Starfires. He's now the manager. He's the big man in charge. What was your relationship with him like last season, and what do you expect this year playing for him as the head guy?
I couldn't be happier to hear that he was the head coach and he was coming back. I loved Deschler last year, and it's just great to hear that Denbro's the guy this year. He's very technical when it comes to hitting. So I believe his beliefs match my beliefs when it comes to hitting. So he's just a great guy to be around. He can be your best friend as a coach, and then he knows when to turn on that switch, and he can really be a scary guy because he's a big guy too. So but he knows when to joke around. He knows when to kick it with the guys, but he also knows when to get serious and play some ball. And I couldn't be happier to have him back. He's just the greatest personality to have around, and that, like I said, when it comes back to the baseball aspect, he's very knowledgeable on that. He's very ahead of the game when it comes to analytics and stuff. So I'm just very impressed with him being so young.
What is something about Westfield other than coming back to play for the Starfires that you're looking forward to experiencing again?
I mean, I feel like it would be obvious to say the burritos, by now, but there's this place, Old Havana. They have some great Cuban sandwiches there. It was really good. I'd get some empanadas before the game. So I like that place. I'm looking forward to get some burritos and then go back to Old Havana.
I think we need to just change up this question to be what food are you most looking forward to coming back to Westfield from now on? Because Dembro brought up the burrito place last week. So it's just there's so many good options in Westfield.
Absolutely.
It's certainly not helpful for my waistline, I'll tell you that. Last season, we came up 1 game short of making the playoffs. What's it going to take to get over that line, get the Starfires into the FCBL playoffs for the first time, and get that 1 game of difference over to get in?
Like you said, it came down to the end. I mean, rolling through a gem, through a no-hitter in the last game, we won. So we were in the running up until the end. So, but I think this year just coming out hot, last year started out a little slow. So just setting the tone early this year is going to be huge for us. so we can be like 4 games, you know, 5 games in the playoffs, so we don't have to worry about that last game, you know what I mean? So we can just be comfortable. So I hope we just come out strong this year and just set the tone for the year, so we don't have to worry about last couple weeks of the season where we can just rest up for playoffs, you know, and give it a run.
We're only 1 week away from opening day. So to finish off, what is something that you want to tell the fans of Westfield to get them ready for the season?
Bullens is only getting better, you know. I mean, great things this year to come. You know, we got great food, we got great people, we got great ball players. You know, Bullens is growing. It's year 4, right? Year 4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's year 4. You know, we're only getting better. So just come back. You know, we got fireworks, we got a lot of great food, we got great people. It's gonna be a lot of fun this year. So, and we're gonna make the playoffs. You know, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
You heard it here first. Dan is saying we're going to the playoffs. I'm 100% with you, Dan. I think we've got it going. That's Dan Hussey from Central Connecticut State University and the Westfield Starfires. Dan, thanks for joining us on this edition of the BullensMagic podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. See you guys real soon.
That was Dan Hussey from the Westfield Starfires, Central Connecticut State University sophomore. Rebecca, you know, I know you didn't get to spend last season with him the way I did, but what'd you make of what Dan had to say?
Yeah, he sounds like a really humble, excited kid. I loved how he talked about, you know, Hunter Pasqualini and coming from Central to the Starfires with him and his connection with Dembro, our new manager. So I'm excited to see what he can do. And he seems excited and ready to get going for us.
Yeah, he's definitely the kind of ball player you want to have on your team. He was last year and will be again this year, no doubt, as you could tell right away from talking to him. So he'll be here on May 26th, opening day just a week away, and opening night, the first night game for the Starfires, a little over a week away on the 28th. So thanks for tuning in to the BullensMagic podcast. For my co-host Rebecca Osowski, I'm Seth Dussault, the voice of the Starfires. We will see you at Bullens Field very soon.